What happens when a life ends and the personality dissolves? I'm not talking about the body or even the memories. I mean the identity you thought was you. According to the fascinating field of life between lives, what remains is not emotion, not ego. It's pure awareness, stripped of all performance. And that is where the real work begins. This isn't just a theory. It's a concept pieced together from thousands of deep hypnotic regressions, a glimpse into the state between incarnations. And what it reveals is that the end of one life isn't a final judgment, but a homecoming to your true, unmasked self. So, what's the very first step after death? It's not a grand review or a reunion with loved ones. It's a process of decompression. Imagine all the intensity of your earthly life, the fear, the urgency, the constant emotional noise, slowly fading away. Souls describe this experience as stepping out of a high-pressure chamber. It's not exactly relief, because relief is still an emotion. It's more like a profound neutrality. All the roles you played start to dissolve. Your nationality dissolves. Your gender identity dissolves. Even your personal history, the story you told yourself about who you were, begins to soften and lose its sharp edges. What's left isn't your personality, but your essence. This is a critical distinction, because most of us go through life confusing our identity with our essence. We think our job, our family role, or our passions are who we are. But in the space between lives, that confusion finally ends. You are no longer a collection of labels and experiences. You are simply the core consciousness that lived through them. This isn't about forgetting who you were. It's about remembering what you are. The memories are still there, but they no longer define you. They become data points in a much larger journey, not the sum total of your existence. This decompression is the necessary first step to seeing your life with total clarity, without the filter of the human ego. This state of pure essence leads to what we could call the loss of the human interface. On Earth, we are constantly engaged in storytelling. We justify our actions. We defend our choices. We perform an identity for others and even for ourselves. We're always trying to explain, this is who I am. But in the space between lives, all of that ceases. Why? Because who you were is no longer the central point. The only thing that survives, the only thing that matters, is what you understood. It's not about the events of your life, but the wisdom you extracted from them. Souls often describe this initial phase as unsettling, but ultimately incredibly liberating. Think about it. You are no longer protected by your own ignorance or your carefully constructed illusions. But at the same time, you are no longer burdened by them either. There's no need to pretend, no need to maintain a facade. This completely reframes the concept of death. Death isn't the loss of yourself. It's the loss of your false self, the mask, the role, the character you played. For the first time, you are simply you, without any adjectives. It's a state of pure being, where you can't hide behind your accomplishments or be shamed by your failures. You just are. And from this place of radical authenticity, the real life review can begin. It's not a judgment, but an honest assessment of growth. So, if the ego is gone and the personality has dissolved, what happens to our feelings? This is where it gets really interesting. In the between lives state, awareness exists without what we typically call emotion. Now, this doesn't mean emotions disappear entirely. Instead, they become informational. They transform from overwhelming feelings into pure, unadulterated data. Imagine looking back at a moment of intense anger or deep sadness. On Earth, that feeling might cloud your judgment. But between lives, you see it for what it was, a signal, a piece of information about your experience. There is no shame. There is no pride. There is no regret. There is only pristine clarity. This is precisely why a traditional heaven and hell style judgment doesn't exist in this space. Judgment requires ego. It requires a sense of I am better than, or I am worse than. And since the ego has already dissolved, there's no one left to pass judgment or to receive it. Reality is simply processed without distortion. You see your actions, your thoughts, and your intentions for exactly what they were, without the filter of self-defense or self-criticism. It's like watching a movie of your life, but you're not just the actor. You're also the impartial observer who understands the entire script. It's in this state of pure, unemotional observation that the soul truly learns and integrates the lessons of its just completed life. In the end, what this all points to is a reality far more complex and compassionate than many spiritual traditions suggest. Between lives, you are not rewarded for being good. You are not punished for being bad. You are simply seen. Seen with a clarity that is impossible to achieve while wrapped in the human experience. And the intelligence that sees you next is not a bearded god on a throne. It's not a panel of celestial judges. It is something far more intricate and impersonal. It is the system itself, the very operating system of consciousness and reincarnation. And that is where the journey to your next life truly begins. Thank you for watching. If this sparked your curiosity, consider subscribing for more explorations into the nature of consciousness. The afterlife is not chaos, it is not freedom, and it is not comfort. It is organized, structured, layered, intentional, and everything within it serves one single profound purpose: the development of consciousness. Many of us imagine that when we pass on, we'll find ourselves in a boundless space of either blissful reward or eternal punishment. But what if the reality is far more intricate, far more like a cosmic educational system? Forget everything you've been told about heaven and hell. What if the universe is less concerned with your goodness and more concerned with your growth? This isn't a place of rest. It's a place of work, the most important work you will ever do. Imagine the moment after your last breath. There's a period of decompression, a shedding of the physical and emotional weight of your recent life. After this release, souls are guided. But this isn't an escort by an angel in white robes. You aren't commanded by a booming voice from the heavens. Instead, you are integrated into the system. Guides appear, but not as authority figures. Think of them as stabilizing intelligences, like a cosmic operating system booting up to help you process your new reality. Communication is instantaneous. There is no language, no English, no Spanish, no Mandarinly pure, unadulterated meaning. You don't need to ask questions like, "Where am I?" or "What's happening?" because the understanding flows directly into your awareness. And with this flood of comprehension comes an unsettling realization. This place, this system, has absolutely no interest in what you believed during your life. It doesn't care about your religion, your philosophy, or your skepticism. The only thing that matters here is your capacity for comprehension. Did you understand? Can you understand? Can you understand now? Your beliefs were the training wheels. Here, you are expected to ride the bicycle. This transition is about moving from faith to direct knowing, a shift that can be jarring for those who held rigidly to dogma, and liberating for those who sought truth above all else. The system isn't hostile. It's just relentlessly focused on its purpose. Within this structured environment, it becomes immediately clear that souls are not equal in their development. Now, let's be very precise here. This is not a moral hierarchy. There are no better or worse souls. Instead, think of it as a spectrum of experiential depth or spiritual maturity. Young souls, those with fewer lifetimes under their belt, tend to be reactive. They are driven by impulse, raw emotion, and a need for simple, direct experiences. They are learning the fundamental lessons of existence: cause and effect, desire and consequence, self and other. Older souls, on the other hand, are more deliberate. They have navigated countless scenarios and have integrated those lessons into their very being. They are less swayed by the drama of the moment and are more capable of seeing the larger patterns at play. Some souls in their current stage require repetition. They need to experience the same themed betrayal, forgiveness, loss, courage over and over again, in different contexts, until the lesson is fully absorbed. Others, having mastered those basics, now require complexity. They are ready for nuanced challenges that test their capacity for unconditional love, wisdom, and conscious creation. This framework provides a profound explanation for the baffling asymmetry we see in humanity. It explains why some people seem to learn from their mistakes almost instantly, while others appear trapped in a self-destructive loop, repeating the same errors endlessly across relationships, jobs, and entire lifetimes. It's crucial to understand this. It is not failure. It is simply a stage of development. The universe doesn't see a failed soul. It sees a soul in second grade, still learning its multiplication tables, while another is in graduate school working on quantum physics. After orientation and finding your place within these levels of maturity, you are brought to the next critical phase, the life review. But this is not a solitary judgment in front of a bearded god on a throne. The review is conducted within a collective awareness, often referred to as a council. These are not judges, but rather highly evolved beings who act as mirrors, reflecting your own life back to you with perfect clarity and compassion. The purpose here is not to evaluate your morality, to tally up your good deeds versus your bad ones. The purpose is to measure your awareness under the pressures of earthly existence. The key questions are not spoken, but are implicitly understood. Did you act consciously, or were you on autopilot, driven by instinct and social conditioning? Did you become aware of your own patterns, your triggers, your default reactions? Did you use your experiences to evolve your consciousness, or did you merely survive, bouncing from one event to the next without any deeper integration? Pain is not condemned. The universe understands that suffering is a powerful catalyst for growth. Ignorance is not punished. It's seen as a starting point, a state from which to learn. But stagnation is not ignored. Willful refusal to grow, the choice to remain in a comfortable but limiting pattern, is the one thing the system is designed to correct. The review isn't about making you feel guilty. It's about making you see yourself with total honesty, so you can understand what you need to learn next. So, as we see this architecture of the soul, one thing becomes strikingly clear. Between lives, there is no mercy. And that's because mercy implies the existence of guilt or sin, concepts that are entirely human. The system doesn't operate on mercy. It operates on precision. It is a finely tuned, perfectly calibrated process designed to facilitate your evolution. Every part of it, from the integration with guides to the life review with the council, is about preparing you for the most difficult, most profound, and most sacred task of all, consciously choosing your next life. You are not thrown back into the world randomly. You, in a state of higher awareness and with the guidance of the system, will choose the exact circumstances, challenges, and relationships you need to continue your soul's journey. The ultimate responsibility has always been, and will always be, yours. Ever wondered why we're here? Here's a thought that might change how you see everything. No soul is forced into a body. They volunteer, and before they arrive, they choose to forget everything they know. Why would anyone do that? Because a truth that's simply remembered doesn't change you. Only a truth that you rediscover for yourself has the power to truly transform. So, when a soul plans a life, it's not scripting a story of success or failure. It's designing the conditions for growth. Souls don't choose an easy path. They choose tension. They select limitations that will push them, emotional friction that will make them feel deeply, and relationships that will provoke them to evolve. They pick environments that challenge their awareness. Why? Because comfort teaches nothing. Stability teaches very little. True growth demands contrast. It's in the space between light and shadow, joy and struggle, that we find out who we really are, the challenges you're facing. They weren't assigned to you as a punishment. They were chosen by you as a curriculum. But here's the most important part. Nothing is scripted. Only the framework is set. Think of it like a game engine. The rules are there. The environment is built. But how you play the game is entirely up to you. This is where free will becomes the core variable. Two souls can enter this world with identical conditions, same families, same challenges, same opportunities, and emerge with radically different outcomes, with completely different levels of understanding. This is what preserves the integrity of the entire system. It's not about rewarding a specific outcome, like achieving wealth or fame. The system isn't judging your successes. It's evaluating the conscious choices you make along the way. Did you act from fear or from love? Did you choose contraction or expansion? Did you learn from the friction, or did you just try to avoid it? The journey itself, the quality of your choices within the game, is the entire point. Your life isn't a pre-written play. It's an improvisation, and you are the lead actor, director, and writer all at once. So, why the forgetting? Why wipe the slate clean? This is the most crucial and perhaps the most brilliant part of the design. The memory is erased for a very specific reason, because certainty eliminates the need for courage. If you knew everything was going to be okay, would you ever need to be brave? And knowledge removes the possibility of authenticity. If you knew the right answers, your actions would just be a performance, not a genuine expression of who you are. Life isn't a test of your beliefs. It's a test of your behavior when you have no proof. It asks the ultimate question: who are you when there is no guarantee you're right? Who are you when all you have is your own inner compass? Forgetting is not a flaw in the system. It is the feature that makes genuine growth, real courage, and true character possible. Without it, this would all just be a simulation, not an experience. Now, if any of this model is even partially true, think about what it means for your life right now. It means your life is not a mistake. Your struggle is not meaningless. And your confusion is not a flaw. It's part of the design. You are living inside a crucible of controlled uncertainty, a test of awareness, a test of integrity, a test of your depth. And when this life finally comes to an end, what will matter is not what you believed. It won't be about the theories you held or the doctrines you followed. What will matter is what you understood while you were living without knowing. It's about the wisdom you forged in the fire of uncertainty. You are not here to remember the truth. You are here to discover whether you can live without it. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more thoughts on this journey we call life. If you're still here, watching my videos, I want to say something simple. Thank you. In a world of endless noise and distractions, the fact that you choose to spend your time here means more than you can imagine. It means you're one of those rare people who wants to go deeper, question reality, and look inside yourself, not just outside. I'm honestly happy that there are people who share these interests, these questions, this search for meaning. So if you feel this space resonates with you, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who might need it. Your support helps this content reach more people who are also quietly searching. Thank you for being here, really.